that other year. Even though I was leading the team in scoring per minutes, everybody in the league during that year, even Jordan, points per minute, they didn't bring me back. And then after that, of course, the HBO interview after 9/11, it's like, excuse my language, this nigga won't shut up. God dang. He's gonna speak his conscience. So that's one of the. But I told myself I don't, like you say, I'm not gonna be one of those go along to get along.
Right.
I've done that. I was taught that from an early age, and then when I began to read and study and look at people like Malcolm and Patrice Lumumba's and Nkrumah's and reading all of these history, I'm like, hold on, man. These people are the people now. When we look at history, these are the people that we admire. We look up to. Man, this is what I'm talking about. I want to be like that. I don't want to be known just being a player. I said, if all you remember of me is he could have a mean crossover and he can shoot basketball, I have a wasted life.
Right. That's what I mean by these dudes not connected to nothing. So
exactly.
Let me ask you this. So with the guys like Stephen A. Smith and all of the media, how they try to frame me is that I'm upset because I'm mad about being a buzz, and that's the only reason why I'm making up the go along, get along game. So for the fans that identify with this word buzz, that word has never been attached to you. So my whole thing was never about the go along, get along gang getting on you for being a bus or whatever. Because it doesn't matter if you're a bus. It matters if you're an individual and you don't go along with their get along gang. You don't meet the criteria of a bus. So can you please make it understood for the casual fan that's listening to Stephen A. and these news outlets that's identifying like what they're doing as just attacking players that are bad at the game? Because you definitely wasn't bad at the game.
When you say, well, no, look, you weren't bad at the game.
Right, but I just want them to remove me from
Listen, man, any of us, this is a small group, 300 and something, I don't know the number. Mm-hmm. When you look at billions of people, when you look at the amount of people, I think when I was coming up, it was like 700 and something to one that would make it to the NBA. Mm-hmm. Now, when you factor in the overseas market and everywhere else, it's probably well over 1 million to 1. Mm-hmm. There's no way in hell, excuse my language.
No, give it to him,
that a person that makes it to the league, now you may not end up being or doing what you wanted to do, and there's a whole bunch of different variables.
Yeah.
When people that's been in the league, and I was listening to you, I said, okay, this is his side. I don't know that side. But what he's saying, not knowing both sides, that stuff happens. Mm-hmm. The pressure that's put on players, whether it's the subtle racism. Look, I've had players where Darnell Meade, he got injured. They rushed him through his rehabilitation, mm-hmm. only to get him to have surgery when he got a rod in his leg. Mm-hmm. They put him on the court real quick, got rid of him.
Yep.
They do that.
Yep.
A lot of stuff I said, man, what he's talking about really happens.
Yeah.
And then
working out 3 hours for the game.
They'll take it away from their mistakes and mm-hmm. their flaws and try to project it on somebody else. Mm-hmm. So, like mostly every facet of society, we're the ones who get it the most.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we oftentimes get it from people that look like us.
Exactly like us.
There's a justification that they try to justify by, well, this is just business, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. This is what we're supposed to do.
We're just talking about his game while saying he's so insignificant that don't even be mentioned in a trade. But that's just about basketball.
Of course, and it's bad business. They know it, but they try to justify it. Mm-hmm. So my thing is about exposure. So any chance that we have, because they have this platform, and so millions of people watch them. So what you're doing by creating this platform for yourself, and other people have to create platforms to where we have to hold them accountable. I mean, truly accountable. Let's hold them accountable. But no. It's time that when you make a mistake or you do something intentional, whatever you want to call it, and you go out there and you start making this personal. It's not, like you said, it's not about, okay, this game, my skill, but you getting my family involved, you calling me garbage, all this name calling, all of these negative epithets, then no, I have a right to defend myself. And I have the right to expose you if what you're saying is false. Right. And even then, man, for me, even if sometimes things are truthful, as a Muslim, there's a concept called backbiting and slander. Backbiting is such that even if I know something about you and it's true, but I know that if I say it, it's going to hurt you tremendously, or it's going to have your family to look at you in a certain way, I'm prohibited from saying that publicly. Now,
and that's what confused, not to cut you off, that's what confused me about Brother Jack. When I tried to reach out to him behind the scenes, he went on with the arrogance. He went to texting on Instagram and went to talking, and even went so far to say my life is dirt. And then now he's giving these motivational speaks like I'm just some guy who's just attacking people. And I'm just like, you don't understand the way that you're talking to me, my brother? Like, what are you doing?
Right.
And that's all this was about, was respect.
No, I get it. And when you lie, that's on a whole nother level. That's slander. Right. And so, for us, there's a saying, and I know within Christianity, and I'm sure within Judaism, there's these same principles. But it said, look, speak out against injustice. Speak out against injustice, even if it's against yourself, your family, your near of kin. So if something is wrong, it's wrong. Whether it's your Muslim brother who's doing it, whether it's somebody else who's doing it. And so we just have to get better. We have to be smarter. We can't play the game and give these people what they want by constantly tearing ourselves down. And I love the fact that you keep mentioning the importance of being a benefit and influencing the youth. Yeah. And by look, man, and you said this countless of times, and I'm not on social media a lot in terms of YouTube, but I've listened. And when you're constantly mentioning and tearing people down, but then you turn around, these children aren't stupid. Right. They may not necessarily communicate it, or articulate it, or address it, but they're not stupid. So when you're on one platform and you're tearing athletes down and you're calling them names outside of the skill, and you're making it personal, talking about their character, then all of a sudden you go to the school and you want to talk about unity, and man, that's hypocritical. Right. And that's the thing, like, people to take you seriously. Right. And that's the thing, like Cam Newton. That thing with Cam Newton, where that young man challenged Cam Newton in the way that he did. When I grew up, every football coach would have slung that young man to the ground and made him do up downs and made him do something to earn the right to get back into that camp. But where's that connection that we used to have in your generation? And I know that in your generation, the so-called leaders, they were attacked. They were firebombed. They were thrown in prison. They had to leave. The leaders we have today get to move into the whitest neighborhoods. They get flown to the protests. They get to walk through the jails and come out with their fist up. They cute, they pretty, they're rich. That's right. I'm getting more flack. Your life has been railroaded harder than some of our leaders. What do you say to that? There's a certain leader that I'm close to. Back in the day, he said something to me that made sense. He said, when you hear yourself, especially by corporate elite, media, all of these people, when you hear these types of people saying good things about you, be concerned. Right. It's likely you're doing something wrong. When these same groups of people are attacking you, you must be doing something right. You're exposing them. Yeah. And they don't like it. The shoe is on the other foot now. And you have a platform. People are listening to you. And it's like I said before when I texted you a while back, ain't no fun when the rabbits they had the gun for so long. They've been hunting and they've been killing. So now the rabbits got the gun. Now they don't know how to act. Get real sensitive. And the best thing a lot of them should have done, and I was talking to one of my brothers about this, matter of fact, I'm here in Mississippi now. We was talking prior to this conversation. The best thing they could have done, man, is, you mentioned this before, man. I called them. I try to talk to them like men. The best thing, look, if what you did was wrong, just apologize.
It would have been done.
Just apologize. Let it be. But yet we want to justify it. We want to talk around it, and you put yourself more in the hole. Especially with a brother like yourself.
Yeah.
Because look, I can tell by just listening to you. You've done your research. You took your notes. So you just waiting for it. Like, really, you want to go there? Look, man, you said before, this can all be over.
Yeah.
If you just leave me alone.
They won't listen.
And still we got this arrogance like we want to keep talking.
Right.
If you're really about building, if you're really about unity, sometimes even that saying goes, let's agree to disagree as long as it's not rooted in my oppression. So, man, look, you know what? I apologize. How can we change this? How can we make this right? How can we, like you said, why don't we, instead of buying all of these things and doing all of this, why don't we get together and build youth programs?
Right.
Why don't we teach these children not only how to read, but how to think?
Yes.
How to be a critical thinker, how to problem solve.
Yep.
If you're really about what you say you are,
it's easy to do.
Hypocritical. Let's do that.
Yeah.
And now it's like y'all keep on, and the man said, it's quite simple. You leave me alone, this can all be over.
Right. But see now